Oh, hello, my sweets. Oh, won't you come with me? There's oh so much to show in this grim dark distillery. And if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this nightmare priest non-binary world magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. One moment while I set things up and put a little post up on the Insta to let people know that it's time to party. Oh boy, it's time to party. Ba 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 ba. Good morning. Good morning, gardener. Good morning, possum. Yo yo yo. What it do? What it do? I have a very, very fun story to tell you all. An absolute banger from. This is one of the best stories I've ever heard. An absolute banger from my uncle, which I've got to tell. This is my second favorite story. This is fucking hilarious, but it is still not my favorite. I'll have to tell my favorite one. I'm gonna post this real quick and then we'll get into it. Okay, who next? You next. You next. Okay, and then I need to put a little music, and I'm thinking, hmm. I mean, Summer Shandy's fun. Yeah, that's good. Okay, then we're gonna put a little link here. Shit, I'm so sorry, my sweets. Give me just 1 second, and we will be rocking on top. I've been listening to bangers all morning. Hell yeah. So while I'm doing this, oh fuck, I'm about to fuck. Okay. Share a copy. I'm gonna work through posting. Oh my gosh, this is so difficult. What? These are stickers. This is awful. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm the worst. Okay, so, my favorite story. I'll tell my favorite story about my uncle. This is my great uncle. So he's pretty much like the only like male role model I've ever had in my life, and he's wonderful. So key information. He was a Green Beret at the so he went into the army for Vietnam. He never served in Vietnam. He instead was a Green Beret, and at the time, that you can't do this now, but apparently you could like multi-class and like multi-spec. So like after he went through like Green Beret school, they were like, "Hey, do you want to do paratrooper stuff?" And he was like, "Well, yeah. If I'm gonna go to Vietnam, I'd like to have all the training I can get, because that's the kind of person he is. It's the kind of lessons that I have learned is, yeah, you should get all the tools that you need to do the best that you can." So he was like, "Yeah, I want all the training I can." So he goes and does that kind of training. So the amount of things that he knows how to do that are just bananas are just always very fun to hear, and they're always typically dropped with no context, because for him it's just like, oh yeah, that's just a normal thing. I didn't think anything about it. And my favorite is I have a deer skull that he found on their property, and it's gorgeous. It is I'll bring it down at some point in time. It's got a bunch of in our dining room. We have two shelves around our windows, and they're very much in the same kind of vibe as like the rest of kind of like concept art aesthetics. Lots of art, lots of natural stuff, skulls, cicada skins. Looks very like I guess museum core. Museum core is a good one, but very much a large amount of it's just memento mori. It is a when you walk into my dining room and you look out the back window into our backyard, I wanted it to be framed by reminders to be alive. So we have a box that has all of our roses and flowers from funerals, from weddings, anything really emotional, it gets kind of put in there. And there's a skull on there as well, with one of the flowers in the eyes. I think it might be from my great aunt's funeral. It was one of the flowers on her casket. But anywho, when he gave that skull to us, he was telling us the story of finding it. And my great aunt was in the other room, and she overhears and hears skull, and she's just like, a human skull? From the other room, and he goes, no, a deer skull. And then he just kind of goes back like this, and then he goes, I have found a pile of human skulls before. Anywho, and then just goes into the next bit of the story. And that's one of my favorite just random tidbits that anyone has ever naturally said in conversation to me. And I don't want to know the story because I love the mystery. But the story this time was they have been having a lot of issues with their like plumbing and stuff. And one of the toilets apparently completely backed up. It completely got clogged, and he was just like, okay, well, I've got to deal with this. It just doesn't work anymore. So he calls a plumber, and the plumber comes and like, he takes the toilet off. He's doing all the stuff. He's doing he's plumbing, as they say. And as soon as the toilet comes off, like, he's just like, oh no, oh, it's an animal. This is very disturbing. So just anyone who's interested in a disturbing story this morning, it's a squirrel. A squirrel had gotten in to the vent in the top of his house during winter at some point in time and crawled through all the vent stack and somehow wound up in the toilet. But then, of course, the plumber was just like, I'm not touching that. So essentially, he paid a guy to come and take the toilet off, and then he fished a squirrel out of the toilet. And then the guy put the toilet back on, and then he immediately went up and put like everything that he could think of to like cover the vent caps. So hopefully you all enjoyed that story, and maybe unlocked a new fear. Maybe a squirrel will come visit you in your toilet. I didn't think that was possible, but now we know. And on that, I guess it's time we just start doing the damn thing. Let's see. So yesterday, I finished up working on this guy. I'm very pleased with how he turned out. If that story was too much for anyone, I apologize. It's I was delighted. Obviously I don't want squirrels to be dead. I love squirrels. But man, that's a horrifying thing. So, speaking of horrifying things, this guy, pretty much I went in and I sculpted this new little armor pads around the kneecaps. I did a little bit of filling up here. Eli hates squirrels and wishes them all a terrible toilet. Oh gosh, you're getting the terrible toilet. The terrible turlet. Man, I'm really happy with that little belt buckle. You're great. You do a good job. Okay, so this boy, I love squirrels. So here's a fun thing about growing and developing. And I actually talked about this with Gage at Adepticon whenever I asked him his reasons. Not that I can't stress enough whenever if I ever like, oh hey, I'm curious about this. I'm not judging, not questioning anybody's reasons for doing anything like life choices, but I was just genuinely curious because I know so many people who are vegan or vegetarian, why he was. And we were just kind of talking about that, and I was like, dude, I get that because I am not vegan, I'm not vegetarian. But I have done all of the really not fun parts of getting food because I don't want to do that. I wanted to be able to appreciate the work and you know everything that goes into that from an actual me standpoint. So for a while after my cousin passed away, I was hanging out with my uncle a lot, and going hunting with him. In total, I've killed one animal, and I felt really no, I think I like two or no, I think two, just two. Only one that like I was like, oh man, this was really fucked up. I'm not doing this ever again. And that is a red squirrel. There was a red squirrel, a very big, very, very, very pretty red squirrel that lived at my uncle's. And while we were hunting, we did not realize it was it. And that's the only one that he specifically was like, yeah, I don't want to kill that one because I really like that one. And of course, that's the one that I shot. And it had a very not good impression on me. The entire experience. It was very, very too much. Too much. It was too much. And I don't hunt anymore. That's why. But I learned a lot of things from all that. Appreciation of life is definitely, I'd say, the top of the list. I'm not going and saying that everyone should go out and hunt, and I'm not trying to upset anyone that doesn't want to hear about hunting or shooting animals. I'm just trying to speak my truth. So take that with a grain of salt, everyone. We're going to get back to this biz. Man, I'm so glad that I put this silly little tape up here, and now I can just look and do what my thing, and I know that my hands are where they need to be. So this bad boy is gonna need some detailing, and I know we're putting chainmail on them. The question is, how much? Yeah, I think a good amount. And definitely we want to put some kind of breathing apparatus on the side of that, like a little tube. So I'm gonna take a little peep over here. Let's grab the chainmail. We're gonna grab the chainmail. This is cheesecloth. If I knew exactly where it was, I would write it down, because I want to buy more myself. But I think it was a small. It had to do. I think it was a reusable bag for some fish tank component. But yeah, the mesh is very, very, very good. It looks like chainmail. And once this is painted, it's going to look so good because it also is the thickness that we need. And that just goes so far in my opinion. And I think a lot of people's in selling it. When you look at this, the side there, that chain is definitely thicker than an actual, a ringlet of chain would be. So I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut that off right now. I don't know. And that's on me, you know. I'm not saying I always am going to do that, but now that I'm looking at it, it's like, yeah, I just showed you that, and I showed myself. Yeah, so we're just going to break that guy off. And then we're going to go in with some better looking chain. Chain links. Hopefully everyone is having a good morning. Eli hates squirrels and wishes them all a terrible toilet. A terrible toilet. Man, okay, that arm is going to need some sculpting for sure, but I'm already happier with that. That was a good choice. I think that one's got to go too. Oh my goodness. Slippery, crispy. All right, that's looking good. Yeah. So, after I do this stuff today, I'm going to be working on stuff for the record session tonight. That's what I'm going to be doing after streaming. Between now and the next time you see me, I'll be working on that. I'm thinking something very much in the vein of an orc head, like an orc knob head. And in fact, depending on the size of what we pull out of this little box here, it might be exactly that. ASMR in the morning. Everybody likes hearing the bits. That might be a little too darn big. I really want to eat the rest of this Krabby Patty, but I'm just so darn full. I started to continue with my question from earlier in your DMs. Do you think a game asking you to make a handful of 2x2 boards that have all different features is too much of a barrier to entry? And then I'm having a good morning. Started writing my rules for Morkamunda after Monday's cast. Hell yeah. Dude, both of those get me so pumped. A handful of 2x2 boards that all have different features is too much of a barrier to entry. I think, yeah, do you think a game asking you to make a handful of 2x2 boards that all have different features is too much of a barrier to entry? I think I really loved the idea that you posed in the chat, which Possum hit me up about a game instead of with a recommendation of where to put terrain, like you roll, like a table that would like generate a different kind of table each time you play. And I think that's great. I love that idea. Also, I fucking love Morkamunda. I'm down with that. Man, there's a guy on my mini factory, Mr. Modulork. If you want to convince me to fuck around with orcs, that guy has already got a good leg up on the work for you. I love orcs. I always have loved orcs because of just how base they are, and I love orcs. I love my orcs, not goofy, but like really not awesome. Like just wasteland raiders, war boys. Like I guess when I saw Mad Max Fury Road, I was just like, fuck yeah, orcs. Like the War Boy cult, it just reminds me so much of Speed Freaks and of orcs. And there is humor in there because of things that they say, but it was less about a different layout each time and more so that each board should, in theory, have a relatively unique combination of features. Now so I think for most people, I think that's a lot. That is a lot. I can't stress, and my entire reason that I want to do what I want to do with this is because as a player, I would like to find the middle ground between, hey, who makes games and what they offer to the community, and like, hey, who in the community can say, I know enough about games that I've played and I know where I'm going to have issues, because that's essentially what I did with work. That's how my brain kind of works. When you start to tell me something, I can't help but put together the big picture and think about how things fit together. And I absolutely love that idea that you proposed with the rolling. And I think that would be great for, let me grab these two little dudes. These just printed off yesterday. But I think having almost a box chart, or like, okay, for for each 2x2 area, roll once on this table and then roll like once or twice on this table, almost like a Merc board kind of style, like, oh, hey. And so the first like table would give you, say, a bigger piece of terrain that should go somewhere in the center, for like 1490 Doom at least, or maybe even not do that. But I think having a table that tells you to populate it how, but still the key is to know the type of terrain that you need for the game, and for the mission. So as long as what you're trying to do can be accomplished with all of the terrain that you're using in those charts, then I think that would be very, very good idea. I think that's a great idea. I love that, and I would like to incorporate that. Thanks. Because that definitely will make it to where you have a different game every time. And that's something that I think a lot of people get burnt out with Zone Mortalis, or even like I could see people getting burnt out with that with like 1490 Doom, having a set board. I think having a set board it's wonderful in the sense that it becomes a diorama. That's really what it is. And that's everything that I make is meant to be looked at as though, it was in a vacuum in itself, but also in combination with others, especially like 1490 Doom stuff. But so much of just that table is I wanted to have a centerpiece that I can take to people or take to events and stuff, and just really show off, hey, this is how wild you can go. But I'm absolutely going to be building, I'll probably build at least 4 boards to take with me to like Hard Knocks and other events for 1490 Doom, just because with a 2-foot round, I can put 4 of those on a shelf, and that's a tournament. I can run a 1490 Doom tournament then. I can't do that with like 40K or with Trench Crusade really, because they involve a much bigger table. And that's the same thing to the same extent almost with Flames of Orion. The fact that it is played, you can play it on 2x2. And that's kind of similar to what you were saying, Possum, with, but this would be, instead of 2x2s, they're 1x1s, but all of my Flames of Orion terrain that I was working on, they're on 1x1s. And I do, initially my plan was to have it to where they were built in a specific layout. But honestly, I do really love the idea of almost numbering the tiles, and like the map itself would be generated. It's not predetermined. And that's, yeah, so same concept with Flames of Orion. I plan on making boards to start a scene where I am at, and get those games built up. The main conceit is how to have a number of boards for a campaign played by 4 to 6 people, each with their own board, and the campaign having elements of a Metroidvania, or the main concept. That is so good. I love that. And that's similar. I mean, honestly, yeah, no, I love that so much. That's very much like, I think, the same concept of what I'm wanting to do with my Trench Crusade campaign map and the cathedral that Bartos Hexbricks is working on. The fact that it is made, and at this point, that he's getting crazy. It's like, I think, a 7.5 by 4.5 foot board is what he's saying that it's going to be at this point. But I don't play any games that are that big, so having it to where, yeah, you could break down and zoom in on each piece of the cathedral is absolutely what my intention to do with it is, and then also just using it as scatter terrain. I don't plan on gluing anything to a physical board and having that monster in my house all the time. It would just be too unwieldy. Having elements on each board that you may not be able to interact with at the start of the campaign, but you could unlock your abilities to traverse to previously inaccessible parts of a pre-existing board. Yes. So on that vein, there is a Kickstarter that I backed, and I've not started printing it. It's probably going to be after, it's probably going to be what I start working on after this cathedral, but it is from TerraBlocks, and they also are someone that I am very much a fan of, not just because their icon looks suspiciously like mine. I'm just kidding. I actually really liked it. And I was like, oh, hey, it's like my icon, but like from the side, it's just a black background and a red skull. But I was like, oh, yeah, good tastes, good tastes. Anywho, they have a fucking wild board that they are working on, and right now it is, I want to say it is at 2x4, maybe it's a 2x, no, I think it's a 4x4 now. So there were 2 pieces of this board, and they were released in 2x4 sections. And I'll pull up I'll pull it up on my phone, which is, again, I'm sorry everyone, but it's the quickest way to do it and show you what I'm talking about. Hellwick from TerraBlocks. This shit's crazy. So yeah, this is just absolutely nuts, but there are 3 layers. There is an underworld, and then there is a catacombs, and then there is the ground floor. And that fits very much with, I think, what you're talking about, Possum, where you could be playing, and then slowly over time the campaign lets you get into other parts of the board. But that's a giant ass cathedral, and there's also a ruined section of it. And there we go. Now you can see the catacombs. They are fucking nuts. Pretty much as soon as I saw this, the initial castle thing, I was like, man, that's really cool. And then I saw that and I was like, okay, well, shut up and take my money. And then they've got another section that they did before. This was part 2. Hey, buddy, how are you? Welcome back to the world of living. You missed the story of my uncle pulling a squirrel out of his toilet. And now you get to think about that. Think about what you did. I'm just kidding. But yeah, the toilet was backed up and the plumber was just like, I got to get in there. And he was like, all right, take it off. And then the plumber starts screaming. He's like, oh God, what is that? It's an animal. And yeah, it was a squirrel that had crawled in through the vent stack and then up through the toilet and got caught in the P trap. And that is, I mean, man, all of that is just grisly as hell. But man, that's just something I didn't even think could happen. I didn't think that could happen. And I feel like it's just kind of my duty to, one, try to handle it in a way that I'm like, I can't let that fuck me up. Can't think about that too much. This is too big, I think. No, it's too big. Who am I kidding? We're gonna need a bigger boat. Did I fuck up that bend? No. Okay, thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll make you repeat it a little. But yeah, busy morning here at work, but I'm glad to be here. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad to have you. I'm always so excited when everyone's on. It's great. We're gonna go with a little piece of tubing, I think. Because why wouldn't we? Do we want to do metal? Do we want to do plastic? Metal is a trick question, my sweets. Ba-da-da, these are some little tubes. Shout out to my boy Adam. Adam is the one. I really do like the relationships that I have been fortunate enough to build over the past, I guess decades. But Adam is absolutely someone that's just like, I can always rely on him to match my obsessiveness for detail. Anyone else will be like, you're a crazy person, but I'm just like, I kind of get it. And I'm very thankful that there's at least one other human being out there like that. I think the highlight of us like acknowledging that was probably at Adepticon when I was talking about Adepticon last year. Yeah, when I was talking about God Hands and not from Berserk, but God Hands, the tools. If you like God Hand, I'm not dunking on God Hand. They're overpriced though, I'll say that. I would not ever recommend someone to buy their products. Personally, these are all just my opinions. I think that you're buying the name. It's the same way I say don't buy Gibson, like unless it was made before 2010. I'm being generous there. It's just the price is not directly correlated to what you get, and I don't like to fuck with stuff like that. I like to buy things that I know I'm getting what I'm paying for. And after getting God Hands, after hearing about how great they are from influencers and that kind of stuff, it's like, wow, these are less reliable and more flimsy and way easier to break than my Tamiyas. So when they did break, through normal use, I can't stress enough, I only use them to cut Bandai plastic. I did not even let them touch GW plastic because it's too thick. After just using them with Bandai plastic, one day one of the blades, it's literally the whole thing snapped. And I was like, well, there went my $80 pair of nippers. So I instead went and I bought a second pair of Tamiyas, and those are my hobby snips, and I keep. Pro tip, if you're like me and you already invested in a pair of God Hands and you are yet to encounter when they break on you, keep that little cover for them because it fits perfectly over a nice little pair of Tamiyas at our half price. And the metal that they are made out of is, I'm just, from a structural standpoint, it's just better metal, period. I was watching Germa play the game God Hand, old video game, and that's all I can think of when you say it, but I assume that's not what God Hand in this context. No, so God Hand is a brand of hobby supplies. Don't buy Epiphone. Yeah, well, I don't. If you're asking my opinion on if anyone's like, hey, I'm buying a guitar. If you want a guitar, and I've pitched this to so many people, like, hey, I want to buy a guitar. I'm like, oh man, I got the perfect guitar for you. It's so good. I bought it 4 fucking times. And I only canceled it 3. The Squire Mustang Bullet is my favorite, like, starter beater guitar. That thing has no business being as decent of an instrument as it is for the price point. At least the one that I got. It stays in tune better than a $1,500 Gibson that I have, and it costs literally a tenth of the price. You want a guitar? Man up and build your own is what I say. I can't stress enough how much I applaud that, but even there's so much in woodworking. I can build everything but the wood. And that's like my favorite guitar is my brown Les Paul, and the only thing original on it at this point is the wood. I've gutted everything else out of that guitar, and I've replaced it. At one point, it had some really fucking sick pickups that if you're a real psychopath, you can really get into modding a lot of things. And one of the things I fucked with was pickups. So we're changing out the magnets, putting a different kind of combinations of magnets. And eventually I got a really gorgeous tone out of one set. I want to say they were Alnico 4s, but really, really good. But of course you've modded yours. Oh yeah, everything I touch, all of my guitars have to be mine, which is why I had that custom shop. And it was a god hand. It is a god hand. It was a tool that it was not meant to be used in the way that it actually was designed for. If that makes sense, like, at least I think it was too expensive, too fragile, and I constantly felt like I was going to break it, so I couldn't enjoy making music with it. And like, yeah, I don't know, the guitar that I love more than anything is just, it's covered in scratches from myself and from Theo. It is utterly covered in love marks, and I can't think of any physical item that I would be as upset if anything happened to it, because it's like a part of me, at least. But I picked that thing up and I can't help but make music. I love that guitar. I bought it from a guy on Craigslist. It was, so I don't fuck with Craigslist anymore. Forewarning, be careful with the wood you build a guitar with. Yep, saw a picture of a guy who was using a poisonous wood of some varieties. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh, yeah, I don't know, there's too many factors in wood drying and warping for me to put my hat in the ring of that. Yeah, a hat in the ring. I don't know enough about that, and I don't think I have enough time to learn about that to start to do that. There's a company called Warmoth that they pretty much take that out of the equation for you, and you can custom have wood and necks and stuff, and then they just ship it to you and you put it together. And I have bought a neck from them before when I was trying to put it on my very first guitar, which was an Epiphone. However, it did not work because I did not know what I was doing enough at the time, and the bolts did not match up on them. But yeah, guitars. How did I get on this conversation? God Hand. So God Hand, it's definitely the brand. But before it was the brand, it's the name of pretty much the gods in Berserk. The God Hand. Is it like the hand of God? Just put your glasses on. Nothing will go wrong. I love that song, but I'm trying to remember who it's from. Pen Pals? The original 97 Berserk anime has, would you follow a group if you knew all their instruments were made of poisonous wood and they got incredibly sick every time they play? How good would they need to be for you to watch them obsessively? Not even half good. If that was the gimmick, they would have a following. White Mice. I can't stress enough. After experiencing White Mice in person, which is definitely the single most uncomfortable experience I've ever had at a performance, ever. Like, I have watched horror movies. I mean, I've watched horror movies all the time that make me feel more safe than I felt at seeing White Mice. White Mice was a very interesting experience. I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it. Ah, what are you doing in there, you silly little dude? That was surprisingly longer than I thought it would be. Huh. So I guess I had that in there to keep this from buckling, which means I'm going to put it right back. So here we go. Time to do a little bit of rolling. Man. Okay, how am I going to... Let's zoom out a little bit. And I'll show you how you cut a tube. So this is a very, 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 very thin tube. These are from Albion Alloys, Ltd, Precision Metals for model makers, brass tubes. So these are the very first little tubes, and I've seen a whole bunch of these since, and now actually I can go in town and get them at my hobby shop, but they're not from this company. This is like the OG of like metal little tubes for model making, before AK and everyone else hopped on it. This is like the only company that was like, I'm gonna be the change I wanna see. I'm gonna make little metal tubes to make structural stuff for railroading. But I don't know where Adam found those, but he uses them a lot for barrels. If you see a Between the Bolter and Me barrel, it's probably this, almost certainly. If it's not, I'm surprised, because that would mean someone has done something to Adam and we need to help him. That's what I was talking about. At Adepticon, Adam and I were talking about God Hands, and Eric, we were talking about them, and I was like, yeah, I don't think they're really worth it. And he was like, oh, you don't think so? And I was like, no. I mean, because like I make the cut, but then I still go back in afterwards with a knife, and I'm like, I clean it up. That's the whole point. The whole point is, oh, they're so sharp that you don't have to clean it, but I still clean it because I can still see. They're not sharp enough that it's not, the nib is not entirely gone, because nothing other than a hobby knife can like cut completely flat and plane something. And even then, I want to smooth it out, because you're going to see that cut there from like the impact of the pressure when you make a cut in plastic. And this is something that I don't think people factor in. I didn't factor for a long time. But when you make a cut in plastic, you have to understand that like most of the time you're not cutting so much as you're just pushing and pulling and bending. So like as that cuts, it puts pressure on both sides away from it. More so on the side that does not have the flat. So, and that's because you leave both sides not flat in order to accommodate that pressure and try to keep it going the other way. So if you're trying to have a very smooth cut on your piece, you always want to cut with the flat part, but you want to keep in mind some pressure is going to have to come out of that plastic in order to actually make the cut. And without factoring that, you can end up cutting too deep. That's just a little hobby tip, little spice there for you. So what are we doing with this tube? Well, but yeah, that was Adam and I just reflecting on our masochistic tendencies, that for some reason, we're both just like, yeah, no, I go back over and I smooth it. Yeah, I remember you helping you remove nibs from some pieces, and I was so bad at it, but I was also obsessed about the smoothness of the cut area. That's it, dude. Once you see, I think that's it. The moment that I remember like it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? The moment when you see mold lines for the first time on your painted miniatures and you acknowledge, oh man, I should have removed that. That's just forever burnt in my brain. And all of my obsessiveness about things really comes down to, if I am going to put enough time into something to make a character that I really love or make what I want it to be, I want to make sure that I don't waste any of that time. And if I could have done something that would have really made a big difference in the overall presentation of it, it's worth doing it and thinking about before I call something done. AKA obsessive. I'm gonna see, I think this guy is the next size. So yeah, never again. If I finished a project and it had mold lines at the end, unforgivable. They definitely can take a masterwork and reduce it to something that you're like, wow, Okay, next. And I'm not trying to say that derivatively. I'm trying to say that from a helping standpoint. And I don't ever want anyone to misinterpret like, oh, putting people down. That's not it. I like if someone sees something like, oh, hey, did you notice this? I like being called out on things because I don't like to be incorrect in the things that I say because I don't want to spread misinformation, and I don't like to do things ineffectively if I could be doing them better because I appreciate people valuing my time. Okay, here we go. We're gonna fit these tubes together. And that is a nice little stack of tubes. Looks a little silly. Oh no, it went all the way down. We're gonna have to put some super glue in there. Or maybe, did I lose that tube? I don't know. The tube might be too small and I can't tell. Where did that other piece of plastic go? Or better yet, I'm kind of feeling like that tube came out of here. Did it? No, it didn't. No, wait, it did. Maybe? Yes, fuck. Okay, shit. Where'd you go? Well, I just literally heard something land on the rubber padding. So yeah, okay, well that's gone forever. And we just roll with the punches, baby. Sometimes that's all you can do. That's too big. I think we can fit another size in here. I think the one that I was using is a little too small, and that's why it kind of was loose. That is absolutely what happened, because this one looks like it's going to be real good. I might need to open this up just a smidgen, though, with my X-Acto knife. Sorry, X-Acto blade. This is a Excel. I like Excel because they have the lock on the back, and as someone that manhandles their tools all the damn time, unintentionally, they get very loose. And if you don't account for that, your blade could slip and you could get one of many really not fun injuries that I've sustained over the years. Be careful with your tools or you might get hurt. Okay, well, I don't know. I went with I was trying to see if another size fit. I think this is going to be the one we go with. I think just a little chimney at the top there will really kind of make it look good. Which means that we got to put a little bit of a cut on here. And so the reason that I'm rolling this is we are trying to essentially score. We don't want to actually apply pressure or cut. We want the blade to just slowly work its way through the metal enough that we can just kind of snap it, or that it snaps on its own. Because if we apply pressure, we will deform that tube, which is why I had that little piece of plastic in there. However, because we want to see the little pipe, we want that to have a little hole up there. We don't want to do that. We can't afford to have the little bend in there, which is going to really make that not work. So, where are you? Here you are. Get out of here. Lots of super glue crusties. I might cut that. So again, with it being something nice and very small, I'm going to use a super glue that is a little bit more control to it, which is crazy glue. That's my favorite little bit glue. Un petit pot, if you will, if you French, or just nasty. Do you see it? Can you see it? It's still in there. The part that I thought that fell on the floor is still in there. What are you doing? Get out of there. I've already got super glue on this piece now. You missed your chance. No, now it's super glue to the table. Piss. Okay, there we go. This is good. No reason to get upset. We got it. We're just going to put a little bit of super glue down on the other side. Kind of push it in there. Where'd it go? Here it is. Yeah. Just kind of push it in there. And because that is hollow, it's just going to go through here too. So, oh, that works. Yeah. I'm liking that. A little chimney. My Sasquatch hands could never do this. Yeah, I think you just gotta be really light with your touch. Just real light touch. And then we're gonna put it right here. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm liking that little stack on the side of the head. But I think it's going to need, it needs a cable. It needs cabling. Cabling's rad as hell, so, how are we gonna do that? I guess we're gonna look and see what kind of guitar strings we have that are on that scale. Covered in bees, baby. That was the #1 single, Covered in Bees, for as requested by Possum. There is no song called Covered in Bees. Alrighty, are you gonna fit? Yeah, you are. That's gonna look good. So we gotta get our little bins on. Bins on a thing. Ben Gay is a thing. And man, I gotta tell you, I meant to do a shout out to Ben Gay. I'll do it right now. Ben Gay is awesome. One of my favorite things you can just go and buy, because like if you don't have it and you really need it, you're like, I'd rather be dead, because yeah, it's just muscle pain. Muscle cramps are so gnarly. But I woke up with a really gnarly one in my shoulder today. And if it was not for Ben Gay, I would probably still just be laying in bed crying like a big old baby. Like I do all the time. Come on. That looks like a good little bend. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is a 0.65 millimeter. I got a meeting. Oh no. But apparently an artist. I'm sorry about your meeting, Gardner. Thank you for hanging, though. It has been wonderful having you. I'm excited to see about the Morca stuff. That sounds rad as hell. Yes. This is going to be good. Gotta get a little bend, No, my hands aren't in the window. I'm sorry. Okay. Man, okay. Please keep all hands in the window. That's going to look so fucking sick. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's going to be so good. Oh, yeah. You breathe in 1, 2, breathe out the other. So we're going to put a little hole here. Probably don't need to. Actually, we don't even need to. I'm going to cut this first. So this goes there. Does not need a little hole. That is going to look so fucking sick. I'm so pumped about this right now. Okay. So that's going to fit there. I need it to have a little bit of a bend because we want it to go under here, kind of up to the side. So we want to have a slight bend to this. And we want to be really careful, my sweets, that we don't fuck up that coil that we've established. I probably should have put this bend in earlier. We want to get the twist almost. Yeah, that's it. It's gonna fit right in there so good. Oh my gosh, look at you, you're beautiful. I love you. My sweet, sweet child. And like all children, I'm sure you will just try to throw me off a fucking castle. If I had $1, I'd have $2. Alrighty. Moment of truth. Yeah, baby. Okay. That's good. That's good. I love it. Where did my little tube go? Oh, no. There it is. Wait. Yeah, that's it. So now we're going to try to dry fit this in here real quick. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yes. LOL, I have no idea what you're doing here with that wire pipe, but if that's one of my guys, he will definitely throw you off a castle. This is one of Kelly's. This is Kelly's knight. It is going into his helmet. So we are almost there. This is going to feed into the side of his helmet. So he's got a gas pack on the back. Or not a gas pack, but a oxygen tank on the back of him that feeds up into one side of his helmet. This is going to be coming out the other side. There we go. Oh, then he will facilitate the brute throw. Yes, he will be like, I'll help you get a +1. I'll help you get a +1 to throw that guy's loved ones off of a castle. Just a little bit of super glue. We don't want too much. But to be fair, so it is a pipe. It's hollow. Yeah, it's a tube, a hollow tube. These are two very small tubes that are made to fit inside of each other. Let's see, their exact word is slide fit. Yeah, so 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1.0. It is. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. But again, if you make games that only make me have to make 3 models, I'll spend a godlike amount of time on each model because I can. And I know that they're going to be around a while, as opposed to I need to make 20 of them, and then every turn I remove 20 of them. I don't like doing that anymore. When you do it enough, you kind of realize, I think I'm starting to see a reoccurring theme here. And my time and my money is not being valued by the thing that I thought it was. And I know that a lot of people look at that or hear that and it's just like, well, dude, that's just life. But when you use something as a safety net for that, like to keep the rest of life from like weighing you the fuck down, you don't want your games to do that too. Oh, you can make a piston or something? What kind of machining is required to make something like that, you think? So I would think that it would be pretty, like, I'm assuming that this is not a very functional, like, it's not made by someone who really knew what they were doing. I'm assuming, kind of like the Brute, that it's like oxygen comes in and then there's just another tube that, you know, something can go out. So essentially just creating a middle ground. But that, you know, the CO2 should rise up out of this little pipe. I don't think a piston would be required, and I could be mistaken in that. No. No. Okay. I could be mistaken. Little pistons, little pumps. Which I'd need to look further into the lore of 1490 Doom to really see what other technology advancements they really had before, you know, the Creeping Death came in. But I think based on the other models, I can from you know, your games, like the actual official ones, I can deduce that they had at least some knowledge of gas masks and respirators, and that obviously, but I don't fully understand how the ones in the game work. Okay, there we go. That was it. They just needed to be opened up a little bit more. It's gonna look so good. And yeah, no, so like piston powered armor, that would be a thing. Man, okay, well, here's an idea. If someone wants to make it first, go for it. A Brute that is not strong, but is in a suit that just has a bunch of pistons and stuff. I made that hole too high up. Damn it, I'm gonna have to fill that. That's okay though, that's gonna look so fucking sick. Damn, girl. I don't know the gender of this model. Kelly has not decided on that yet, I don't believe. Or the sex, let me rephrase that. I don't know how this model identifies. I don't want to say that incorrectly. This character. I'm so pumped about this. This is gonna look so fucking sick. I have really missed doing obscenely tedious detail work. It is one of the things that makes me the happiest in this life. Come on. Fuck yeah, that's so fucking sick. Hell yeah. Go just a further bend. Almost, we're almost there. Right there. It's right there. That's it. Yeah. So we're gonna glue that right in that position, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna pretty much anything that's not, oh, the super glue might do the work for me actually. I should say I'm gonna make it look like it's welded. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Fuck me, that looks so fucking rad. I'm really liking that. I'm really happy with how that is looking now. Very much the Bioshock kind of vibe that I'm wanting to give. Again, I missed your response. Had to check the VOD on a call with a devastatingly old individual. That is not fun. I'm sorry, my friend. Man, I'm really happy with how that helmet turned out just now. Alrighty. So, from here, where do we need to go? I'm going to have to fill in that, and I'm going to have to sculpt a little bit around there. I know I want to fill this in, but the first thing that I really like to do before I do any green work is get the details dialed in. We're going to use a hobby knife to smooth out some of that super glue real quick, because it's kind of I cannot stress how pleased I am with that. That looks so good. I'm gonna hit it with some zip kicker now. And we are not gonna spray it. We're gonna do a little drop on top of the helmet. And then a little bit of a blow. Maybe even a kiss. There you go. All on your own. Doing a great job out there, huh? He needs, I think he needs a, shit. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I know it. I know it. You get the horsetail, you put it in a piece of wood. Guess who? It's a tree. Good morning. How are you? Made a little breathing apparatus. I'm very pleased with it. I'm really liking it. Getting into some stupid details. Yeah, that's great. I love this little stack on here. So sleepy. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not fun at all. I'm pretty good and awake now. I've been up for a while though. The nightmares are back, so not sleeping. Oh no, that's not good at all. I'm very sorry to hear that. Ah man, I'm not a fan of nightmares. You would think. I don't like having them myself. I like making them. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't know. Nightmares are messed up. Brains are messed up. You're just like, hey, I think I'm gonna go to sleep and rest, and your brain's like, yeah, but what if? But I know that that's also probably, I don't know. I guess it just depends. Depends if you think dreams are a reflection of anything. Man, I've had some that are definitely, when you hack into them, you're like, yeah, that's something. I gotta understand that. Had a lot of Superman related dreams though. I've been on a Superman kick after the movie. I've I've never watched any of the Superman movies. Is Cavill? Is Cavill in this one? I like the Cavills. I enjoy the Cavills. I prefer him as a Witcher. I really liked the Witcher. Henry Cavill. I also liked him as Wolverine for a few seconds. But no, not anymore. Not anymore. What is that? That's Always Sunny. It made me think of that. The Maniac. That's one of my favorite episodes. The Maniac, David Cornswit now? Cornswit? Perfect Superman. All right, well, I'll have to look into that. I've never been a fan. I'm not a superhero guy. Only comics I really fucked with were, I mean, I love manga, but Judge Dredd. Love Judge Dredd. That's really about it. I mean, I read some Batman. Batman is the only superhero that I really fucked with. And around my 20s, I got really into reading Batman comics for a while. And then I fell out of that. But I've never really gotten into Superman. I don't like when a character is OP. I like to have the characters that I relate to have lots of faults and are humans. I don't know, but I can absolutely appreciate, and I'm sure that they can do stuff with the storylines that, get around that. Man, I really like that. I'm trying to think of what that's called. It's a headdress. It's a type of headdress. Oh, what is that called? It's on the top of a helm. A plume. It's a plume. I feel like maybe he needs a plume because that would be pretty rad. But I don't know if I want to make a plume with real hair or with... I mean, I think I just answered the question, right? I mean, it clearly should probably be real hair or like bristle-looking stuff. Greeblin. My sweet, sweet Greebles. It is 9 o'clock. That was a little blue skidoo. Alrighty. Get up here, you sleeve. Come on. I'm gonna put that orc head that I'm not gonna use back in its box. What am I doing with it? Get out of here. Where'd you even come from? Oh, you're over here. If I don't, it's just gonna end up in the pile of, yeah, that's what I was working on. And it wasn't. So it doesn't need to be there. Bow, bow, bow. But I could use it on another one of these. Probably one of Sam's. Man, yep. Nope, we'll go with a small pipe for there too. So, he's got his little tubes. The next thing we need to do, we want to wrap this guy up. And I'm going to use really small ribbon for that. We want it to go around this to hold it like that. So in order to hold it like that, we need to figure out how do you hold a little tube like there. I would assume it would be almost some sort of a triangular shape. It would touch. So if we got a bottle, not that one, I'm drinking that. That'll shake up. Hey, I've got coffee. This is a good time for coffee, everyone. Nothing like a nice cup of Job. Okay, so if I want this to be able to be supported, I would probably have it connect there, and I would probably have it connect here. And then I would tie them. So it's going to be kind of like a triangular double wrap. So we need to, it's going to glue on the bottom and glued on the top. Yes. So, like so, and like so. Ba-da-da, da-da-da, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, boo-doo-boo, ba-dum-bum, Bum, 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 bum. Sorry about the noises and the songs, they just come out. Sometimes it's like I'm speaking in tongues. Other times it's just like, that might be just Tourette's, maybe. I don't know. Probably not that. It's probably just ADHD. Stimming, I think is the term. Okay. Yeah. That's gonna be good. I like this. Obviously it's not gonna go over that tube, but that is how the shape is gonna go. But it needs to be moved further this way. And then we're gonna glue it. We're gonna do a little snip. Probably about there. That looks like it'll be a fun spot. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Pull my hands up. I'll pull my hands up. I will agree to no more rapping. I will not agree to no more singing or silly little ditties while I'm working, because I don't think I'm capable of that. I'm really liking how that's gonna look. Yes. Yes. So we just wanna push this up just a little bit. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Alrighty. Beautiful, my sweet. And then we're gonna have it go around this little chest of yours. We wanna pull this up though. Pop open the hood, put a little glue, a little blow on it. Bam, whole new boy, or girl, or gal, or anything they want to be. A knight just doing good. And by that, probably not good. Not good. Probably monstrous. Probably monstrous things. Alrighty, that's looking good. I'm happy with that. Yes. Maybe. Is this? No, probably needs to go a little further. We got to go here. The angle that it goes is going to really kind of dictate the natural bend. And that is what we're trying to get here. Is I want it to look like it actually does when you wear something kind of like that. At the side, like a satchel or something. So we're gonna go over here a little bit. Pull. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Looking great. Having a great time. Putting on your little oxygen tank. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, here's the question. Does it go that way or this way? It would go this way. Correct? No, yeah, I think it would go that way. No, it wouldn't. It would be like that. It would go under. When I'm trying to just keep in mind the angles here. All right. This, and then like that. It would bend this way to hold that triangular shape and hold this in place. I think that would be the case. I might need to go further over here though with it. I'm thinking no, we're gonna go like that. We're gonna go like that for sure. That looks good, and I think no matter how it would be wrapped around there, it would have to look like that to some extent in order to hold it in place. So that looks good to me. And if it doesn't look really convincing, I'm not going to stress about that too much more because I think the rest of the details will really highlight that it would be functional and let us kind of look past a few small. Would that be folded that way or not kind of concepts? No, it would. That's okay. I don't know. There's something about that that looks weird. And I'm just like trying to think of how a bag strap like folds to make sure that I've got that right. So I'm going to cut that because right about here is where this is going to fold in on itself. We're just going to push that up underneath of there. Yeah, man, that's good. I'm here for it. David Cornsweet. I'm gonna have to look up David Cornsweet so I know what he looks like. Oh, sorry, as far as I forgot, I do really like Spider-Man. I have always liked Spider-Man. If anything, I've always liked Venom. Let me rephrase that. I really like Venom. Venom was like one of the first acceptable, horrifying things that I think I discovered. And by acceptable, I mean like he was just not scary enough that I was allowed to consume media with him in it, and it was okay. Which, when you start reading as a small child about Carnage, you learn some things. He's definitely not a character that I think should be introduced to small children for proper reasons. As they say, you don't make heroes out of warlocks. It's a really good Jesus quote. Jesus Camp quote for anybody, if you're a fan. There's a part in that documentary where one of the kids is talking about Harry Potter, and that's what they say. You don't make heroes out of warlocks. I think we'd be better off if all of our heroes were warlocks. Someone get out there and start doing some warlock shit. Orlocks. Someone get out there and start doing some Orlock shit. It won't be the Wires, I'll tell you that for goddamn sure. They do not like the Orlocks. At this point, that is a bit. Anytime the Orlocks get a release, they're just like, we can't talk about them anymore. We've just ragged on them so hard. In their defense, the Orlock models have just been some of the worst like sculpts from like an anatomical standpoint that GW has ever made. And I can't stress, it's not because like, oh, but they look so good, you know, modern sculpting and printing techniques. It does not have to do with like, oh, it's a good sculpt or not a good sculpt. When you start to take something, the better you can see it, I think that if anything, it hurts it. It hurts it that they are better like quality like models, because you can tell that like the models don't make sense. Like that's not how humans are shaped. And it's, again, it's just the same thing as like mold lines the first time you see them. So yeah, I'm probably not going to try to cut another little piece of ribbon to go around that side, because, and I am. Who am I kidding? I know who I am. You all know who I am too. Let's do it. I'm not putting on airs. Puts on airs? She wears a helmet full of air. That's just fancy talk. Uh-oh. Yeah. Look at you go. Oh my goodness. Boop. Wonderful. You're gonna look so great. I'm so proud of you. And my neighbor's mowing. What are you doing is behind the... What you're doing is behind the face cam? Oh no! Wait a minute. I thought of something real dumb for a second, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna say, well, let me just move the face cam, and it's just like, well, that wouldn't change it being in my picture. Ah, there we are. There we are now, my sweets. I'm just trying to fiddly with all these little bits, isn't I? I'm like, why are you always talking like that? So, well, maybe it's because I'm king fucking pissed, isn't it? It's king fucking pissed, isn't he? Yeah, this is what I was trying to avoid. We fucked up. Fucked up. Abort. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of him. I'm like the old, I'm like the dad in 28 Days Later. Get out of him. I said get out of him, and then I kick the crate, and then a little drop of blood falls in my eye. Yep. "28 Days Later" is great. So watched. Okay, hey, here's the thing I can talk about: movies. You know, your boy loves horror. Watched. Which Sam, my friend, I got a bone to fucking pick with you, bro. Like, I'm sorry, you're watching Bring Her Back at my house next time you come over, regardless of what you want to do. That's just what's happening. Because I don't think you saw the same movie that I saw. I did not. I found very little connections between Bring Her Back and Speak No Evil. Man, I've cut this too close. I've got to be way more. This is not going to do it. I can either A, admit that I'm wrong, and I can go and I could sculpt green stuff in here to maybe try and fix this, or B, I could keep doing it. So we're obviously going to stick with that, and I'm going to get it right the third time's the charm. It's not a healthy way to handle things, but I'm going to do it like that. Bam. And then we're getting the super glue ready beforehand. We're not putting it on there after. Okay. Where'd that little snippet go? Where my snippet at, yo? There you are. Get back here. No. Yeah, so because I have cut this very, very, very small, it is wanting to unthread itself. The villains had a kid, they stole in both movies. That's it. So, and that's what Kelly and I were like, I don't know what the connection Sam made between the two was, and we were like, I mean, they both have kids that were stolen. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry for anybody. However, I thought that the acting was great. So acting was great. I'll give you that on what's his name's behalf, the main dude in Speak No Evil. Amazing work on him. I did not overly enjoy the movie though. I was more frustrated and stressed because they made a lot of decisions that I just could not understand or relate to over and over and over and over and over. And I was just like, dude, you've pretty much put yourself in this situation. And that's horrifying. I will give that. I wouldn't consider it a horror movie. I thought Speak No Evil is just a thriller. Bring Her Back is a fucking horror movie. And I think it handles possession, spoiler alert, in one of my favorite ways I've ever seen. I would love to. Not only do I want you to watch it because I'm like, man, I need you to watch this again so you can appreciate it more. I want to watch it again. I finished that movie and was like, fuck, I want to watch that again. That's one of my favorite horror movies that has come out this year. Easy. There's another one that's coming out from the same person who did Talk to Me. That looks awesome. Oh no! There's a hole in my mouth. There's not really. Well, I mean, technically there's this mouth. This hole. I got coffee all over me. I got milk all over me. Just make ostrich noises off. This is my stream. Why do you guys like me? Covered in coffee, making ostrich noises. Johnny is doing good. I will post some pictures of her in the Discord. She is really starting to recover from her transplant, and I'm very, very, very happy about that. I was slightly getting a little afraid that I might have fucked up really hard and killed her, but I did not. She seems to be doing great. If anyone is in the market for a misting system, I have two now. One is on Jason Funderburker's tank upstairs, which, as you all may know, is the best name. The truly perfect name for a frog is Jason Funderburker. So her Christian name, her God-given Christian name is Gorloth, Devourer of 1,000 Worlds, all caps. But her common tongue name is Jason Funderburker. She is a very large pack woman, frog, and she's beautiful, and I love her. I can't stress enough, if you've ever met people who are just like, oh, bless their heart. Bless Jason's heart. She absolutely has made me realize it's man, sometimes we mess with the species and she's like, maybe that's not for the good. I don't know. To keep them alive, because she's so incapable of most things. And it's I love her for that. I'm not dunking on my frog. I love my frog. She is my daughter. You are my son. I say that to Theo all the time. It's a reference to The Revenant. I've really, really liked The Revenant. I haven't seen it since we watched it the first time, because that movie's fucking intense. But there's a part when his son is talking down about himself, and Leonardo DiCaprio grabs him and he just goes, "You are my son!" And I'm just like, yeah, man. I'm here for that. Good Dad Leo in that movie. And then Tom Hardy's a crazy person. I love Tom Hardy, though. I don't know if he's a crazy person in that movie. Actually, I think he's just a shitty dude. I don't even know if I'd say he's a shitty dude. No, okay, I'm not going to say that. He's a shitty dude. I am going to say that, yeah, no, if you're a bandit, you're a shitty dude. I think he's pretty much a bandit in that movie. He is absolutely, they're all products of their environment. That's for damn sure. I'm not justifying any of those. No one misinterpret what I'm saying. Please. I'm just thinking and talking while I make little shaves on this guy. I'm absolutely loving this breathing apparatus, and we're definitely going to do some green work, fill this in, clean up these small little spots. But even the extra little unraveling on the belt here, there's no way I'm going to be able to zoom in on that. Maybe? Fuck. Am I really? That's nuts. Okay, well, bonkers. Cameras, huh? Ooh boy, I don't know where to go though. I'm trying, kids. Oh my sweets, I don't know how to use this wheel apparently. I fucked up. I'm gonna zoom out. I can't get that close. It won't focus that close. I don't think you can see it, but there is very fine ruffling kind of tears on that, and it's going to look very, very real. Yeah. Also, man, I can't stress enough. And this is mainly Sam is the only one who's going to fully appreciate this, because he babysits my cats when I am out of town. And I'm not going to say he has favorites, but his favorite is my son Oliver, who is, you've not met him on here. That's for damn sure. He won't come down here. Well, one, he's not allowed in the basement. And when I say that, I talk for my cats all the damn time. But if Oliver comes down to see what we're doing, like he sneaks around. Like he's just he is Margot's sibling, and we always make the joke that Margot technically was born first, but she sent Oliver out to make sure it was okay. Um, that's just how the relationship is. Margot has just always been Margot, and Oliver has always been Oliver, and he acts like he has been abused his whole life. He never has that I've been involved in. And we got him when he was a little kid, and they both came from like the same place. They both did not have a very good, they had a bad life. They were rescues. Looking at pictures of Margot when we first got her, it's just like, oh my God, how did she stay alive? They were so unhealthy. Don't support shitty cat breeding, like cat mills, cattery mills, like, or puppy mills. Please don't support those. They are messed up. They make me really, really sad. Like, really sad. Same kind of sadness as like betas, which my second cousin's daughter got her first beta, and I was very, very excited for her, and I was even more excited when I found out what kind of beta she got, because as you all know, a good source of a lot of the horror that I like to put in things comes from traumatizing experiences that I have had with my own betas. It is just an untapped well of horror, body horror specifically, owning a beta and caring for it because of what we have done to their species. For Gucci, nobody worry. That's a positive note here, but you all just saw. One reason you might want to pin your models like a psychopath is because then you can drop them and they're fine. Don't hold me to that. If you drop your models after pinning them and they break, I don't want to have anything to do with that. This is gonna bother me. I could fix that later, but I'm gonna fix it right now. I don't like that. There's just a little boop sticking out there. Boop, 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 boop. I love this breathing apparatus, and I think the more I'm looking at it, I do think he needs a plume. Does that look good? I'm gonna grab one. I'm gonna grab one from. Actually, I'm gonna grab a nicer head, just for a visual. That's not an Escher head at all. That's a Harlequin. I don't even like Harlequins. That's a joke. I love Harlequins. Love them. One of my favorites. One of my favorite parts. I don't think. It should never have been a goddamn army. That's for damn sure. What are you fucking thinking? Now, okay, I say that, and I'm immediately going to retract what I said. I think that they are good for a certain type of game. They cannot be in like 40K proper gaming, like expecting a Harlequin troop, which is an extremely specific type of thing, to be able to like be on the table and interact in the same game as like Night Titans, Hive, like complete like Hive invasions, like entire orc wogs. It's just not what they do in the lore. Now I know someone's probably gonna pop in and be like, oh, but sometimes, you know, they pop in and they do whatever they have to for the play, and that is true. However, they are not going to throw Eldar lives away for just a fight to the death, which is typically what those missions all kind of come down to. I'm mainly saying I think they're a wonderful force for storytelling. Same thing as Grey Knights. I think they're pretty much the same thing. I think I love the Harlequins more, way more, because of all the things about them. However, I don't think that they are really something that makes sense in the sense of, oh, I'm going to have an army. They're more of a I kind of want to play like a special little mission, and we're going to have them have a very specific goal, and they're going to do this thing. That's kind of how, I don't know, I think 40K lore and 40K the game are antithetical. They really are. And that is why I have such intense opinions, I guess, about it, is my love of the setting. It's not even comparable. Like, I love the setting so much, and the lore and all the history of it, and learning and you know, adding to that in my own little headcanon in my headspace was such a good space for me growing up. And it's just, okay, well, I think we're all fucking really clear that that's the right choice, right? Like, he needs, that's gonna be so fucking rad. Yeah, fuck me, that's so good. Okay. Well, now that we've done that, we get to decide, do we want to use real hair or do we want to use plastic? And I am leaning towards real. Let's get fucking rowdy, boys. We're gonna do a brush, a trash brush. You guys want to see how to make a plume? Off the dome, baby, freestyle. That's gonna look good. It's gonna look like what I want. Boo-doo-doo. Yep, okay. So, this is where things get a little technical. This is where it gets technical. I thought we were just going for a ride through the park, the industrial park. No, I won't ever stop quoting SpongeBob. No, I couldn't if I wanted. So we're gonna make a plume, and we want it to kind of look like that. Gotta have enough hair to make it look real. And we're gonna use some super glue. We're gonna use lots of glue though. Lots and lots of felonies. Welcome to my TED Talk. This is how to ruin your brushes. You want to start with a nice super glue or cyanoacrylate if you're nasty. And you're going to want to make a nice little plume shape with your fingers. Then you're going to go, bleh. You want to get that down in there. Bah! A little spray there. What a tie, my damies. That's an unpleasant feel, I'll tell you what. We're going to hit it up on the other side. Well, look at that. I've been looking for new ways to ruin my brushes. It's like you're psychic. Baby, I am. I woke up this morning and I said, I'm going to be the change I want to see in the world. I'm going to show all the ways to ruin that brush of yours that you love so much. And the people, they said, please. And I said, okay. And down from the streets, I will hear them, no, the peanuts! I'm so sorry. A jar of peanuts with my keyboard fell off. You're in my pocket, and it sounds crazy not being able to see what's happening alongside the commentary. I'm so sorry, Possum. I'm so sorry for that scream. I'm so sorry if I blew out anyone's eardrums. In hindsight, I might have overreacted. So, yeah. And the sweets, they will cry out, but show us how to make a plume with real looking hair. And I'll whisper back, okay. Okay, my sweets. I'll show you. But only because I love you all so much. And now I've got this little goofball brush. What can I do with that? Well, I bet I could really jab up a bunch of stuff and make it look real texturized. That's what I could do with that. Bam, just made a new tool while also making some really cool looking hair. Blah. Okay. Hello. Hello there. Good morning. Blah. 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 Blah, 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 blah. Man, okay. These guys are really... This is going to be good. This is going to be good. But first I got to find something like a little bloom. A little piece of plastic to put on there. And then I'm going to glue some hair on it. Yeah. Man. One problem with having a bits box that like is obscenely large is, well, just that. That's the problem. I don't know where the hell what I'm looking for is. And you would say, oh, Eli, I thought you organized all this. And it's like, well, I mean, to the best of certain abilities, I did. But there is a very specific piece that I'm looking for now. And I'm guessing it's with Space Marine stuff, which is over here. Hello. Tell me your secrets. Oh, actually, it's probably with my Emperor's Children shit. EC. EC, baby. I don't know if I've ever shown anything like that, Emperor's. What's going on? Who's that going on? Who's that going on? Oh, it's going on his helmet. He's gonna have a little plume, like a Roman helmet. It's gonna be sick as fuck. So I gotta find. Aha! Bolterjugend, my boy, my lad. Thank you. That is exactly what I needed. So, man, I need to get the fuck out of this bits box. This just makes me want to make Warhammer stuff. Get out of there. What are you doing? Okay, this guy. Is that guy? Is it that guy? It's that guy. Man, that's good. Boop. Not a captain anymore, silly. You just got demoted. Now you get to go in the front. Here's a whole bunch of Emperor's Children and Black Legion shit. This is, that's my Praetor. Or one of them. Kitbash of Gore Chosen, and that is a Chaos upgrade arm. Kind of has a real goofy claw. Yeah. My Emperor's Children are just riddled with, man, I want to work on them now. I gotta put this up. I don't want to talk about them anymore. I'm not talking about my Emperor's Children anymore. I'm gonna show you these little, hey, where are you? Here we are. I'm gonna grab that. We're gonna need that. I will show the little fun box of bits, and then I'm gonna stop because I cannot afford to get involved in that right now. Where are you? Where's the fun box? Yeah, so I have a very large, well, that was weirdly adorable. The fact that you found the bit you were looking for as well. Well, thank you. So this is my fun box of Emperor's Children stuff, specifically bits that, while I've been working on them, I've saved because they're just good for putting on Emperor's Children. One of my favorites is I made a whole bunch of scalps. These are scalps. And that is by taking, oh no, my scalps. Get back here. And then lots of little chains, lots of manacles. I printed a whole bunch of manacles. So a large amount, most of my Emperor's Children have chains, hooks, meat hooks. I've got all kinds of little meat hooks here. I've not posted much because, again, that I was working on them when, oh no, my scalps, Jesus. You want to give attention to Emperor's Children? I do. I want to so bad. I love them. And when I found out that GW was redoing them, I was only upset because it was just like, good. Okay. And I was upset because it was just like, I know that I'm not going to be happy with what they make for them. In the same way that I wasn't happy when they made Slaanesh Demons. I just don't, I love their IP so much. I have always loved it so much. And Slaanesh is absolutely the closest to my heart. And Emperor's Children are my favorite Legion, undisputedly, because of all the reasons. But number one, because they were just trying to do their best. And that is a fucking slippery slope. I just find a lot of relatable things in their faults and how they got there. Let me rephrase that. Slaves to darkness. This is gonna be sick. So this is gonna be really finicky, and I'm not excited about it. This is gonna break. There's no way it won't. Resin's too fucking brittle. It broke. Okay, we're okay. We're fuck it. We're doing something else. What time is it? 9:43. Oh, we got all the time in the world, baby. Tide Bond. Don't drink Tide Bond. Also, don't drink Pledge. And don't eat dishwasher cubes or washing machine cubes. What the fuck was I doing? Oh, I remember. I can't hit that note. Turns out, doing a bunch of screaming and whatnot, and not actually doing it in a safe way, will absolutely fuck up your vocal cords. Permanently. Huzzah! Found you. You can't get away from me, you little plastic. Alrighty. I don't know if this is the right size plastic I need, but we'll make it work. Is any plastic the right size plastic I need? Let's just appreciate that PSA to not eat cleaner. No problem. I want to specify that. You know, Tide Pods. Will eating Tide Pods get you to heaven? Tonight at 11. That's a reference to Look But Don't Touch, which has an absolutely amazing video from Polyphia. One of the things in the background is that is the news, and on the news it says, tonight at 7, will eating Tide Pods get you to heaven? Don't eat Tide Pods. And if you know anyone that has been affected by that, I am sorry. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying. God know when I'm joking. Also, I use humor to deal with a lot of coping. So, not to specify that. I'm trying to cut this. Get this shaped. We're going to get it shaped. Yeah, that's going to be so good. Okay, I'm feeling great. I'm going to cut that little piece and fold it up. Okay. What are we going to cut this with? Probably scissors. I'm going to grab my whatever scissors. whatever. We're going to cut this, I'm going to say half. Half? Half. Yeah. Look at that. What a time. Snip, snip, snip. Yeah, that'll look good. We're gonna go with the bottom one first. We're gonna do a little cut on there already because I already know I'm not gonna like how that's gonna look. You're doing and looking great. Thank you. I'm trying my best. Oh no. Yeah. There we go. Thank you. I realized I did not say thank you. I said yeah. But I meant that as in thank you. This is a little finicky and I don't want to cut myself or mess this up. So you gotta be really, really careful. The lightest cuts. And then we're gonna glue that right there. Yep. Beautiful. Little snip, snip, snip. Bam. And yes, I could absolutely do this with green stuff. However, this is going to be what I glue the hair to, so I can't just glue the hair. I have to have a little structure for it to go to. And by making that little structure, it kind of dictates where the hair gets to be added by letting me define where the middle of this kind of is. That's gonna look so good, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. Banana. Yes. Oh man, I bet I'm gonna have to, or not I'm gonna have to, but I want to. We're gonna have some spots missing because this he's been in it. He needs to go to the right a little bit, which means that we're gonna shave just a smidge. Damn it. All right, so to the right just a smidge. A little bit of glue. Little bit of glue, little bit of glue. Alrighty, any minute now. Do the thing, super glue. Almost. Yay. We did a... Now do we want to go 2 layers? We do. That's going to look more real. And then we can... Oh no, where did you go? Oh no, oh, no. There it is. Ba-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. This goes here. And it's going to get cut right about there. That was a pretty good cut. Yeah, that was actually like a perfect cut. Okay, hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, what are you doing? Get back down there. What are you doing? Sorry if that whistled in anyone's ear. Trying to get this super glue to dry. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. Zip kicker to the amount of hair that like the bristles that came out of that brush was more than I expected. They're all over my desk now. Definitely gonna have to use that stuff for something though. Not right now though. What are you doing? Get off my finger. Crazy. Okay. Here we go. Moment of truth. This is the wrong super glue. It'll work. And because that's got zip kicker on it, ooh boy. Gotta do it quick. And I think I might have not done it quick enough. I didn't. It stuck. What are you doing? Come on. Here we go. Beep. I'm really digging this. This helmet's rad as fuck. Yes. Yep. Alrighty. Yes. The middle of that is right there. So I need to cut some on this side. A little bit on this. A little bit on that too. There is a gnat flying around me. Get out of here. What are you doing? Come on, leave me alone. I'm not over here trying to kill gnats. I don't need that karma. Alrighty. Oh yeah, that's good. This is good. I'm loving it. My body is ready. That's a really good line. Like, I'm so glad that that guy said that. The joy that he has brought the world with that weird statement. Alrighty. I'm really loving how this is looking so far. That looks so good. I'm so pumped about this model. That is rad as fuck. Okay, let's cut right here. A little bit, just a little bit off the left side. His right, my left. We want to smooth that edge out because there's a little... Alrighty. Now it's time for some hair. This is gonna look so fucking rad. Man, fuck yeah. Yep. So what we're gonna do here is I need to find the spot where the super glue that I have put on there, I want to cut into just enough of it that I don't have a bunch of hair that I can't do anything with, but I want to make sure that I have enough of that super glue that's going to hold that shape for me. Whew, and I'm going to not drop a pair of very sharp tweezers directly into my lap. That's step one. Please. No, a little bit of separation, but that's okay. We're gonna come in here with just a little bit of glue, and now we're gonna build our plume. And if you tell anybody where that plume came from, I swear to God, I'll be so sad. Don't tell nobody, it's a secret. Yeah, that looks about the right height. That's a joke. It's gonna be cut to shape. Don't worry, guys. Whatever, scissors. Honestly, at this point, I might grab this one, because that is a better, it's hard to say. So yeah, cutting these, I might need to do it quicker. We'll see if that does any better. I just don't want them to fall apart while I'm doing the thing. And it seems like that's what they're wanting to do because I've cut what was holding them together. So we're just gonna slowly work these in. Man, I'm getting too much super glue on my fingers. I'm gonna have to pull that off. Okay, we're just gonna go for the big one. Cut it like this. Actually, maybe that's how I need to do this. Yeah. This one, the thing is, it actually has the curve in it, though. This one's the one that we cut with the curve. We need it to go this way, though, because we're trying to meet those up. It is almost 10, but I'm not going to stop until this is done, because I really kind of want to finish this. Man, okay, so my little hair snips that I've cut out have altered their shape because I am trying to cut it. No, we're good. We're still good. I just need to move further in. Probably start using tweezers as well, instead of my big old meaty claws. That hair is going to look so sick. The bristles were not a bad choice. I don't regret that for a second. It's just difficult to figure out how to do this. But that's what we're doing, learning together. If it seemed like I had a plan, gotcha. I just kind of knew the basic principle of how to build a plume. So just kind of winging it. We're going to grab these tweezers, though, because my hands are not doing the job the way that I need it to be done right now. I'm going to move that little guy out. I'm going to push this down. We'll probably end up having to go in and add a little bit more glue in certain spots to even this out, or not glue, a few more little cuts. That honestly looks like it would be better off on the back end, right there. Yep. And then we're going to take this one right there. Yep. So a little super glue. Dun, dun, dun. A little more blue. Looking good, my friend. Just gotta add a few more of these little boops. Yeah, that's what I made. I made mine too big. Don't make yours too big. I should have gone small, and I should have slowly worked my way up. But as my very first plume made like this, I'm okay with it being as rough as it was. And I will definitely get this dialed in. Next one we do will look a lot flipping cleaner. Alrighty. Because you know we're going to be doing plumes. Because they're rad as hell. So your boy got plumes. Don't you worry about that. Oh no, I lost that hair. Your boy got plumes. Don't you worry about that. Oh no, all the hair's gone. Oh, I messed up. Your boy doesn't have it. Your boy messed up. Yep, that's gonna look good. Da, 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 da. Just a little bit right there. Yeah. Look at that. Get in there. It's not going to do it. I'm going to have to cut that, and I'm going to use, we're going to do what I probably should have done a long time ago. If it looks jank as hell right now, I promise it's not going to look like that when we're done. I just have to get this set. And we're just going to start putting more of these in. I'm going to hit this with some zip kicker. It's gonna look so good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little cut here. That way you guys can at least see kind of what the overall look is gonna look like. A little shorter. That looks good. Shape is in there. We don't have all the hairs in, but we'll get the hair in there. But that is overall how the basic shape of this plume is going to be made. Now I'm going to go in with all these little hairs that I've kind of cut loose, and these spots where it's not as even and not, you know, does not look right. I'm going to go in, I'm going to fix that. But I am very pleased. For a very first plume that I've made like this, just kind of winging it, I'm very happy with that. There are some spots that it definitely, the super glue is too thick, but it will not make a difference because it's not so thick as to draw attention to itself once I get the other hairs in there. So I'm really happy with that. One more little drop of glue here. that might have actually, yep, Zip Kicker caught that, I think. So we're going to get that off there. Oh boy. All right, well, I think we definitely made a lot of progress on this guy today. The little head looks drastically different. We got a nice little vent pipe. We've got a really good looking plume. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. The plume, we'll fix spots that look like they are rougher. Those little spots where it's not as thick, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna glue more hairs, but that might be a lengthy process, so I'll probably do that off camera. But that gives you all the overall idea. Also right there, I'm just cleaning off the little bit of super glue that was left at the top of this, because I want to see that nice, clean little vent pipe that I worked hard to make sure we have still. Might. Yep, there we go. Also, open it up just a smidgen. That's good. That looks good. Maybe poke. A nice little poke. Poke, poke, poke. Yep. Okay. Well, I love that. So, man, I'm really pumped about how that looks already. Oh yeah, and I forgot I added a little strap to hold the gas or the oxygen tank on there. So pretty much I'm going to be next up finishing up that headdress, the plume, making it shaped a little bit better. The shape is there. I need to just glue hair along that shape to adjust the flow pattern so it does not look as choppy. But I will do that. I have got to pee. So I'm probably going to stop here because I'm also getting hungry. I got to eat some breakfast. And then I'm going to, after that, get to work on preparing for tonight. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me and keeping me company while I do this. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, let me know. If there's any topics you'd like me to discuss or anything you want me to go over more in detail, I'd love to hear that as well. Yeah, other than that, thank you so much for hanging out, and yeah, just take care, be good to yourself and to each other, and sit pretty. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Thanks.